Quick counter has always been a strong playstyle in eFootball with some weaknesses. But after the eFootball 27 update, is it actually able to become the new meta? Today we are finding that out with the brand new Antonio Conte manager, because he's currently the first and only manager with two link-up plays. I am going to test both of them, quick counter and out wide, offensively and defensively, in division matches against real opponents. And later in the video, we are taking it one step further by combining Conte with the new fluid formation to see how much of a difference it can actually make. And you may have noticed something different today. For India's Independence Day, I'm wearing the National India team jersey as a sign of respect and appreciation for my incredible Indian community. Huge thanks going out to BSG for sponsoring it, and to Rahul from the YouTube community for personally sending it to me. And if you want to master eFootball 27, make sure you're subscribed to my channel, because from now on we are testing the new meta, the best formations, tactics, managers, and players you should or should not go for. And of course, join the live streams if you want to talk to me directly. And now guys, let's find out if Antonio Conte and quick counter are really the new meta in eFootball 27. This is how it looks like with quick counter on 90, out wide on 89, and the boosters in defensive awareness +1 and kicking power +1. The first and only manager in game with two link up plays. This is link up play 1 over the top pass C from your center back as a build up to the left and right wing forward who is a prolific winger, and link up play 2 1-2 cut in B from your left wing forward or right wing forward to your center forward. Pretty interesting. To spice the things a little up, we're gonna make a review on two platforms, console and mobile. But what about the attacking side of quick counter? Because this is where counter feels really sharp. As soon as you win the ball, some players immediately attack the space while others stay available and offer themselves for short passes. Especially around the opponent's box, your players stay close enough together to create very clean tiki-taka combinations and quick one-touch passing. That makes it very easy to move the opponent around and create shooting opportunities. But the important part is the timing. You can't just spam through passes like sometimes you can do it with a Lombo counter, because not every player is constantly running straight forward. With CONTE'S quick counter, you have to wait for the right moment before playing that final pass. So you actually have to think a little bit more. But if your decision making is quick and you can read the next movement early, CONTE'S quick counter feels very aggressive, very direct, and extremely dangerous in attack. Now let's talk about the defensive side of quick counter, because this is where the playstyle becomes a little bit risky. On both platforms, the defensive line sits relatively high. It's higher than Lombo counter, but not as extreme as overload. So I would say it sits somewhere in between. That means you are vulnerable to through passes in behind your defense. You can't completely eliminate that risk, but if you switch players quickly and anticipate the pass early enough, you can intercept a lot of these balls before they become dangerous. But there's also a big advantage to this high positioning. As soon as you lose the ball, your players are already very close to the opponent. You can apply pressure immediately, take away passing options, and give your opponent very little time to make a decision. And that's one of the biggest strengths of quick counter defensively. Your opponent rarely gets the time and space to build up comfortably. So yes, the high defensive line can punish you, but if your player switching and anticipation are good, the aggressive pressure can make quick counter extremely difficult to play against. One feature that actually impressed me in eFootball 27 is the fluid formation, but you have to use it carefully. With Antonio Conte, small positional adjustments worked really well for me. For example, using Cruyff as a second striker in the attacking formation and then as an attacking midfielder defensively, or moving Mateus from CMF to DMF. Those small changes are noticeable without completely destroying the structure of your team. The problems start when you make much bigger positional changes. I tested Ruud Gullit as a center forward in attack and then as a central midfielder in defense, and that created situations where he was simply too far away from the attack when I won the ball back. So instead of helping me, the fluid formation actually hurt my positioning. And there's another big issue, the stamina. The bigger the distance between a player's attacking and defensive position, the more running he has to do. Konami already made stamina more important in eFootball 27, and with quick counter, where your players are constantly making aggressive runs, you really feel it. So for me, fluid formation is a very good feature, but the key is moderation. Small positional changes can make your team much more flexible. Huge changes can destroy your structure and drain your players very quickly. Georgie. Every pass.
冷静に対応してしっかり試合を終わらせたいですよね。
Conte's biggest selling point on paper, he's the first and only manager with 2 link-up plays. The problem is that both of them depend on the winger, and that immediately creates a weakness. Because if your opponent uses tight marking or man marking on that winger, both link-up plays can become much harder to activate. Even without marking, I still found both of them difficult to use consistently. For the first link-up play, the timing has to be almost perfect. You need the right moment to play that long ball forward with your center back, and a lot of the time that situation simply doesn't appear. The second one also looks better in theory than it feels in game. You need the winger to cut inside behind the center forward into the right space, but if your opponent stays disciplined and doesn't press recklessly, that movement is very difficult to exploit. Especially on console, I struggle to activate both link-up plays consistently. On mobile, it worked a little better, particularly the combination between the winger and the fox in the box center forward. So yes, having 2 link-up plays sounds amazing, but in actual matches, they are much more situational than they first appear. Remain calm. 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 Don't hectic. Don't stress yourself. Take your time. What makes out wide interesting is the flexibility it gives you depending on the opponent. If someone plays very wide with wingers, out wide can actually help a lot. In my matches, I didn't even need tight marking or man marking. My fullbacks were already covering the opposing wingers quite well without any individual instructions on them. At the same time, your whole team becomes noticeably wider, both in attack and in defense. That can be useful, but it can also create problems depending on the situation. Defensively, the line sits a little deeper than with quick counter, but you're still vulnerable to passes behind. And the bigger issue for me is this spacing. There are often large gaps between your players, especially when the opponent has possession. Because of that, you don't apply the same immediate pressure that you get with quick counter. The opponent usually has more time to build up, look for options, and control the tempo. Going forward, you don't necessarily have to attack only through the wings. You can still play through the middle, but you will constantly notice that your players are positioned further apart. So out wide can definitely be useful as a second option, especially against certain opponents, but for me, it's much more situational and less aggressive than quick counter. After more than 8 division games and winning almost all of them, with Antonio Conte, quick counter definitely feels better in eFootball 27 than in eFootball 26. The defensive line is still high and can be risky, but with good manual defending, you can control it a bit better. Going forward is where quick counter really shines. Fast tiki-taka, quick short passes, constant passing options, and aggressive runs behind the defense. If you play fast, you can create a lot of chances. Out wide is a nice extra option, but for me, it's not meta. The 2 link-up plays are also more of a nice to have than a must-have. Both require very specific situations and timing, and personally, I would rather have one stronger and more consistent link-up play like Capello's. So is Conte worth 750 coins, and is quick counter meta? If you love quick counter and don't already have a strong manager for it, he can definitely be worth it. But if you are already having good managers, I would save the coins and wait for someone with a better combination of playstyles, link-ups, and boosters. Conte is good, and quick counter feels strong, but overall he didn't convince me enough to call him a must-buy. For most players, not worth it, and quick counter, I'm also cautious to say that it is already the meta. Hit the like, subscribe, and see you on the next one.